This Sportz Blitz podcast is brought to you by LMG. Grow your business through logo design, paper products, and video production. Visit leemarketing.net to learn more.
They'll order it for you. They'll find it for you. So go out there and give Brian and his staff an opportunity to put you in a new or used car today. And we want to go to the phone lines now. The Dane Sharp Attorney Law Hotline, and welcome in Andy Graham here on the Auburn Blitz. Andy, thanks so much for being here tonight.
I'm always glad to be here. How you guys doing?
Doing great, and we'll dive into this. And the first thing we'll talk about is enrollees. Auburn signed 23 players in this class. They have 21 that have officially reported to campus. It looks like Jason Smith, unfortunately, which Auburn was looking very forward to having him as a true athlete from down in the Mobile area from McGill-Tulane, will not be qualifying, is headed to prep school. And Ernest Robinson from Pinson Valley, he's got a lot of work to do still to be qualified in summer. But you know what? 21 of 23, pretty impressive so far.
Absolutely. It's better than it has been in previous years to some degree. This particular class was kind of specifically designed to be an immediate impact kind of class. That's the reason that they signed 6 junior college transfers. 3 of those guys enrolled early and participated in spring, which was Cameron Artis-Payne, Ben Bradley, and Devontae Danzy. Bradley and Artis-Payne have shown what they can do and pretty much are guaranteed to be major contributors this upcoming year. Danzy, I think, is still fighting for a starting job in the offensive line. So, there's some immediate help coming, and it's good that they've all been able to keep their head on straight and keep their grades in order and are on campus now and ready to play.
Andy, some other guys, there's a little bit, if you're an Auburn fan, you got to have a little bit of excitement about this defense. Of course, how could it be much worse than what it's been the last couple of years? But you've got some guys that could potentially be big-time players. I know they got to find themselves and find their role, but I know you mentioned here Kenny Flowers and Brandon King. Auburn definitely needs help at linebacker and in the secondary, and those are 2 guys that can come in along with some of the other guys that really have not filled their potential yet, like a Casanova McKenzie and some other guys at linebacker that you could see really come in and make a difference right away.
I think that's true. Auburn, moving to the Ellis Johnson 4-2-5, Auburn's only going to put 2 true linebackers on the field. So that limits their numbers to some degree, which kind of helps in that aspect. Kenny Flowers comes in as a true linebacker and has like you said, Auburn's kind of thin in that row. Chris Frost, you thought maybe he was has kind of stepped up a little bit in the spring and really as far as I understand came out of spring pretty much at the number 1 spot. Casanova McKenzie also. I think some other guys that have not produced. Jake Holland is supposedly now 100% healthy. He's apparently been playing with some pretty significant injuries over the last couple of years.
I'm glad there's some excuse out there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But Auburn has some definite thin spots in their lineup, and these guys are definitely immediate fillers for those lacking spots. But the guy that is going to trump everybody, though, and is going to get all the attention, is obviously Nick Marshall. He's the final transfer. And like you said earlier, and I cannot state this emphatically enough, he is not Cam Newton. Now, he may very well win the job. He may be good. He may even be great. But he's, like you said, if you're out there expecting a Newton-esque type performance this year, you're going to be disappointed. But I understand the temptation to want to make the comparison, and someone with his athleticism at the disposal of Gus Malzahn, it can set your mind to racing. But I would urge people just to temper their expectations to some degree.
I agree. Allow him to get in and make his own mark. Again, I think he is a tremendous talent. I think he's Auburn's only option at quarterback, so you got to rally behind him The two guys down there right now really, that they really aren't options in my mind. Right now, let's move on to true freshmen coming in with impacts. Andy, and obviously with lack of depth, Auburn's going to have to rely on some true freshmen to come in. You've got several listed here, and I like the ones you got listed, but the three that pop out to me are Elijah Daniel, the signing day defensive end that Auburn was able to sign, quarterback Jeremy Johnson, what will his role be with Nick Marshall, and then Montravius Adams. I think those three guys are three that a lot of people are excited to see if they're going to have an impact this year.
Yeah, I think Carl Lawson and Elijah Daniel are the two guys that have the best opportunity to make a big impact, because when you look at these two guys, I mean, they both look like they're 21, 22 years old right now. And they are, as impressive physically as you'll see, anywhere in the SEC. And, that's kind of the trend now, that guys at 18 years old come in to the SEC and are physically, ready to play. Now, the SEC is a different animal, altogether. And you have to have some mental maturity just to, absorb the kind of punishment that you're going to take week to week. But I think these two guys, I don't expect them to start, against Washington State. But Auburn was not very good at the defensive end position outside of Lemonier and D. Ford. They didn't live up quite to their billing last year. But when the first two guys were out of the game, Auburn had hardly any pass rush at all. So I think those two guys have the best opportunity to make an immediate impact. And obviously Montravius Adams, he, had the highest, number 3 defensive tackle in the country for a reason. He has an incredible mix of power and quickness. And I think that, it's all about desire. And to me, one of the most difficult positions in all of football in the SEC to break in as a freshman is defensive tackle. Now, I could definitely see him playing, in a backup role as the season goes along. But it's going to be all about desire for him, because he's got the physical tools, but he's got to want it as much as more than everybody else.
Going to be fun to watch, Andy, and see who comes in and does make that impact. We'll finish up with basketball here. Again, lose one point guard, get another. I'll just let you elaborate.
Well, Auburn has found their point guard. They were desperately in need after the Rutgers transfer backed out. But they found a guy, Malcolm Canada. He was at Ellsworth Community College in Iowa. He's 6'3", 215 pounds, good size. So he averaged 20 points a game, 5 assists, 5 boards, a steal. But, it's community college in Iowa. So who knows? Barbie says that he's an upgrade, but really what does that mean? I mean, what would not be an upgrade? So, Auburn is going to go to the Bahamas in August to, play one of these exhibition tours. And that's good because there's a lot of newcomers on the team. And, they need to kind of bond and try to form some kind of unity. It seems like that's been missing the last couple of years. Auburn, one of the many things that's been missing, but camaraderie and really playing for each other. Hopefully, maybe they can find something and put something forward on the court next year. But for what it's worth, they found a point guard.